Gentlemen, on behalf of the Gator Bowl Association, our officers and executive directors, and the people of the city of Jacksonville, it is a great honor for me tonight to extend to you, Coach Joe Morrison, his fine staff, and outstanding football team, the new champions of the ACC Conference, as well as the state champions of South Carolina or Carolina. We welcome you and extend to you a hearty thanks. See you in the Gator Bowl on December 31st.
Thank you very much, Tom, and on behalf of Dr. Holderman and Bob Markham, the University of South Carolina, we'll be there.
Thank you.
I guess you could call the 1980s the decade of the Gator for the Gamecocks. After a 34-year hiatus, this will be Carolina's third Gator Bowl trip in 7 years. Carolina's first bowl appearance, ironically, was the very first Gator Bowl. That was back in 1949. The Gamecocks took an unimpressive 2-3-3 mark into that game, and before a capacity crowd of 7,362, dropped a 26-14 decision to the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. The Gamecocks' second Gator Bowl trip wasn't much better than the first, as fourth-ranked Pittsburgh blitzed the Cocks 37-9 in the 1980 game. This game's attraction was the Carolina Heisman Trophy winner George Rogers against Pitt's Outland Trophy winner Hugh Green. Neither disappointed their fans, Rogers carrying the ball 27 times for 113 yards, while Hugh Green keyed the strong Panther defensive unit with 5 tackles. 4 were solo efforts. The 1984 game had all the thrills any bowl game could ask for. The Gamecocks, coming off of their best season ever and ranked 7th nationally, were matched against 9th-rated Oklahoma State. The Gamecocks turned out to be their own worst enemy this night. 6 Carolina fumbles stopped promising drives and helped the Cowboys build a 13-0 halftime lead. However, the Gamecocks roared back in the third quarter. Carolina's first score came on a Quentin Lewis 24-yard pass to Chris Wade. Then, just minutes later, the Gamecocks offense was rolling again. This time, quarterback Mike Hold hooked up with wide receiver Ira Hillary for a 57-yard pass and run and a 14-3 Carolina advantage. The Gamecocks, however, couldn't hold on and eventually dropped a 21-14 decision, their 6th consecutive bowl loss. Gamecock offensive tackle David Poinsett remembers the frustration.
Only thing that I really remembered about that game outstanding was that last pass that was completed by Rusty Hilger and the go-ahead touchdown for Oklahoma State, and they beat us. And the feeling of accomplishment for the whole season felt like it just went down the drain that last 30 seconds, and that wasn't a good feeling, after that game.
With these players coming along now that have never been to a bowl game, what kind of advice would you give them as you get ready to go there and play?
Well, take it as it comes, enjoy it. You certainly worked hard enough to get there. All year long, I think we had great help from everywhere, from our walk-ons up to our scout teams. And the people that haven't played, I think they've done just as much in getting us to that Gator Bowl as the people that are on the field. So I'd say for them to enjoy it too, enjoy their accomplishments. Hopefully they'll get to go back, but some of them might not go back to another bowl game, so enjoy it while they can.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our Coach Joe Morrison Show. We've all had an opportunity now to sit back and enjoy the 8-3 football season and get ready for the Gator Bowl game, which is now very rapidly approaching. And it seems like the players have that feeling that they want to get back into it again and break that string of losses in bowl games. But, Coach, I know it's coming upon us now, and it is kind of a fun time, though, isn't it?
Well, it is, but it's also time for some hard work and preparation for getting ready for the bowl game. LSU's a fine football team, and I think we have a fine football team. And we're going to work hard in preparation for the ball game, and I know our young men are looking forward to not only practicing but playing in the ball game as well.
This is something now that you've had an 8-3 season. It's been a good year. Is there that feeling that this is the year that you really want to break through, that you want to break that string?
Well, I think this particular ball club has accomplished so much over the course of this past football season, and South Carolina not having a victory in a bowl game, I think it would be appropriate really, if we were able to go down there and have the first bowl victory in the school's history.
Because you have so much time at the end of a season, from the last game to a bowl game, is it difficult to get ready and get everybody back in that mental frame that you need to be in?
Well, I think this is something that's going to take place probably a couple weeks prior to the ball game. Once we get into our serious preparation for it, it's a tough time of year for our young men, coming off a couple emotional ball games, going through finals, which is of the utmost importance, and get all that behind them and then start focusing on the Gator Bowl.
Okay, the Gator Bowl is coming up, a week away from us now, and we hope that all of you can, of course, be in Jacksonville to be on hand for that spectacle. We've got more to go on our pre-Gator Bowl show. We're going to meet a special young man. Also, get a scouting report on the Tigers of LSU when we return to the Joe Morrison Show right after this. There's a young man that has been very special to the University of South Carolina's football program and has certainly meant a lot to the program over the last couple of years, and his Sterling Sharp. And Joe, I know something that they had an opportunity to have a special presentation to this young man a week or so ago at the banquet.
Well, Sterling is a very special individual. He, over the course of his career, has received 163 passes for 2,444 yards. He's caught a pass in 33 consecutive ball games. He has a degree in business, and he's also well on his way towards receiving a second degree in retailing. So he's accomplished a great deal, not only on the athletic field as well as off. And I think sometimes statistics can be misleading as to an individual's worth to a football team. I think his practice habits, his attendance and concentration, intensity in the meetings, and just his knowledge of the game. And people learn from watching Sterling perform out there on the practice field as well as in the ball game. And it's really with a great deal of pleasure that Dr. Holderman and Bob Markham and the University of South Carolina, as well as the coaching staff, retired number 2. and that is a great honor, and it's one that he's going to be with him the rest of his life, and no one can ever take that away from him. That's got to be a great, great feeling, Sterling.
It is a tremendous feeling. It is.
As you come down the stretch now with one more game to go in your career, what kind of thoughts go through your head?
Well, it was a wonderful career, first of all, and had a lot of fun here. Got a chance to meet a lot of quality people, and the coach being open, honest, and fair with each and every one of us, and really making us grow up to be the type individuals that we want to be, and really going out and working hard on the practice field. And I think doing everything right the first time is something that'll always be with me. And just the pleasure of playing with a group of guys that didn't really care about getting the glory, but did everything that they could so that Sterling Sharp could receive some of that.
Where's number 2 go now?
Well, hopefully he gets a chance to play in the NFL, and hope everything works out well for him. And it's just it's been an up-and-up career, so I don't think anything can really put a damper on that.
Well, there's a number you can't call next year, Coach.
Well, that's fine. This is just the 4th number that's been retired, and I think this is a very deserving one.
Okay, Sterling Sharp, certainly very, very deserving. He's got one more team to look at, though, and that's the Tigers of LSU. And the Tigers of LSU are coming up in the Gator Bowl. Here's an opportunity to take a look at that club.
The LSU Tigers will roar into the Gator Bowl for the first time ever on New Year's Eve. But the Tigers do have a rich, but not all that successful bowl history. The Gator Bowl represents LSU's 27th bowl appearance. Their bowl record is 10-15-1. The Tigers have lost their last 4 postseason games and 8 of their last 9. So like the Gamecocks, the Tigers won a victory. After a 3rd straight 9-win season, LSU brings the nation's 7th-ranked team to Jacksonville. The Tigers are guided by first-year head coach Mike Archer. At age 34, the youngest head coach in Division I play. Archer was no stranger to LSU talent. He was defensive coordinator under Bill Arnsparger for 3 seasons. Mike Archer's team is among the best in the nation throwing the football. But Archer says success comes from running the ball effectively when opponents know you're going to run it. And run it effectively they do, averaging over 208 yards per game, over 5 yards per carry, and scoring 24 rushing touchdowns. Their tailback tandem of Harvey Williams and Sam Martin named as the 2nd best running back tandem in the nation by the Sporting News. Unfortunately for LSU, only half of that tandem will be available for the Gator Bowl. Leading rusher Harvey Williams, a strong, fleet-footed sophomore, went down with a serious knee injury in the Tigers' final game against Tulane. His final carry, a 7-yard gain, put him over 1,000 yards for the season. Williams scored 11 rushing touchdowns. In the Gator Bowl, most of the rushing load will fall on 5'11", 175-pound senior Sam Martin. While not as powerful as Williams, Martin can fly, rushing for 576 yards and 6 yards per carry. When the Tigers get close to the goal line, look out for number 34. His name is Victor Jones. He's a power runner who scored 7 touchdowns and was particularly tough against Alabama. As good as the LSU ground game was this season, it was the air attack that excited Bengal Tiger fans. It all starts with number 13, Tom Hodson, the 6'3", 195-pound sophomore quarterback who is rewriting the LSU record books. The Sporting News calls Hodson the best passing quarterback in the nation. He was named Honorable Mention All-America by the Associated Press and First Team All-SEC Signal Caller. Hodson has already established an LSU record of 34 touchdown passes. Hodson has completed 61% of his 553 aerials for nearly 4,400 yards. A primary reason for Hodson's incredible success is split end Wendell Davis, one of the nation's premier pass catchers. The 6-foot, 186-pounder set school records for most career receiving yardage, most career receptions, and most career touchdown receptions. His 2,708 career receiving yards is a Southeastern Conference record. This season, Davis caught 72 balls, averaging nearly 14 yards per catch, and scored 7 touchdowns. Davis isn't the only capable receiver on this team. Tight end Brian Kinchin is an honorable mention All-American. The 6'3", 230-pounder caught 17 passes this year, including a game-winning TD pass against Georgia. For LSU, it's what's up front that counts, and the Tigers have 2 of the finest players in the nation. Start with center Nacho Albergamo, number 56. He's a consensus All-America. At 6'2", 260 pounds, Albergamo has been known to bury his defensive opponent. His talents are high on the National Football League shopping list. Another All-America up front is number 76, offensive guard Eric Endelsack. He's a powerful blocker who's equally efficient either pass blocking or run blocking. While the LSU defense didn't exactly live up to preseason expectations, this unit wasn't exactly chopped liver either. Like the Gamecocks, the Tigers like to put a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. LSU defenders are credited with 29 quarterback sacks and another 30 hurries that helped the Tigers pick off 11 opponents' passes. The sack leader is outside linebacker Ron Sancho, number 52. The 6'3", 225-pound junior had 9 sacks this past season for minus 40 yards. The team's fourth leading tackler, Sancho also has a nose for a loose ball, leading the team with 3 fumble recoveries. Up front, the Tigers have all-SEC nose guard Darrell Phillips. He's the team's second leading tackler. Phillips uses his quickness to get into the opponent's backfield. He has 9 tackles for losses and 5 quarterback sacks. The Tigers have a couple of good ones in the secondary, too. The leader of this group is veteran safety Chris Carrier. He's an honorable mention All-American and a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award presented to the nation's most outstanding defensive back. And, of course, all good teams enjoy good kicking games. The Tigers are no exception here. David Browndyke has not missed an extra point in 2 years and has proven to be an outstanding field goal kicker, especially from inside 40 yards. The first-team All-SEC performer hit a late field goal that enabled the Tigers to salvage an early season tie with Ohio State. Coach Archer likes big plays from his kicking game, and first-team All-SEC punter Matt DeFrank delivers. DeFrank's average just under 42 yards and includes a record 69-yarder against Kentucky. Like the Gamecocks, Tiger players want to end their bowl game losing streak, but they know that they're against a quality opponent.
You know, I think a lot of people have heard a lot about Todd Ellis and South Carolina's offense, but they also have a very good defense. At one point in the season, I know we were ranked second in the nation, statistically anyway, on defense. They like to blitz a lot, and just a good defense and a good team overall. And we're expecting a good close game, and South Carolina is a very good and tough opponent.
Well, playing against South Carolina is going to be a challenge for our football team. They're ranked nationally on defense. Our offense is a great offense, but we're going to have a challenge, and we're going to have to really prepare well. And on defense, what can I say? We face a duo of Terrence Jones and Mark Zeno down at Tulane, and Todd Ellis and Sterling Sharp is probably better than they are. And Tulane gave us a lot of problems on defense, and we just have to go back and reassess our defense, and the coach is going to have a good plan for us, and we just have to go out and execute it.
From looking at them playing against Miami, they deserve that rating because they have a great defense, have great defensive backs, great linebackers, and they play good, sound defense. And it's just something we have to work at, look at film, and really pick up their keys and pick up their blitzes, and do what we have to do against them.
Well, there you have it. A look at LSU and the team that somewhat looks a little bit like the Gamecocks, the things they try to do, Coach.
Well, they're very aggressive defensively. They won't hesitate to bring those defensive ends or the strong safety and show you a lot of different coverages in the secondary. Offensively, they have a good balance between the run and the pass, and they're pretty big up front. So it's going to be a good matchup.
2 great quarterbacks, a couple of great receivers, and some defenses that like to really run around out there on the field. We'll continue with our pre-Gator Bowl show and have a little bit of a wrap session when we return to the Joe Morrison Show right after this. Gator Bowl is fun time, and the football team has a couple of, I guess, what they call raptometrists, if you will. So we asked Shan McLaughlin and Ken Watson to do their thing for us here for the Coach Joe Morrison Show. Hope you'll enjoy.
Okay, before we get started, I feel that it's only appropriate that I introduce myself. I go by the code name of C Elite, and what that name signifies is that I'm the hierarch of hip-hop, the talented triple threat. Not only the master of mixology and the royal rock ruler of rhyme, but I am also a virtuoso of vocal manipulation. In other words, I'm legit. And this is my homeboy Doc. He's the physician of rhyme, the surgeon general of lyrics, the PhD of poetry, and he's a certified raptometrist. In other words, he's also legit. Anyway, in a couple of weeks we play this team called LSU. And I'm sure a lot of you out there are wondering what LSU really stands for. So, Doc, let's tell them. Yo, well, the L is for losing, which they will do. The S stands for suckers, tell them about the U. Yo, the U's for unable to defeat the cops. Yo, C.E. Lee, let's commence to rock. See, when the cops play ball, we attack and abuse. We'll send the Tigers like kittens back to bat and rule. Because the Cox are strong and we have the skill, terminating our opponents in Jacksonville. Yes, FLA is where we'll be. 87 Gamecocks making history. Cause when the game is over, we'll have the title. Doc, where you going? Let's finish this recital. Okay, alright, let's finish this rhyme. But let me check my Rolex cause I'm pressed for time. Yes, I understand, but that's okay. You think we're done? No, we still got lines to say. This is the final task, we're at the end of the line. I'm done, homeboy, compliment my rhyme. Not only will I compliment, I'll invent a eminent style of rap, smooth and eloquent. But this rhyme is over, it's time to go. So check us out, cold chillin' on the Jomo Show. Word.
Well, that's your group.
Well, they got a great deal of talent that they certainly expressed there.
Jen McLaughlin and Ken Watson, they're ready to go. They're ready to go to the Gator Bowl. Football team ready to go to the Gator Bowl. In Jacksonville now, preparations. What goes on?
Well, they have a lot of activities for our young men. We're going to have dinner with LSU on a couple of occasions, and we'll be working in the afternoons down there from 2 to 4. And so we'll get, I guess, know the LSU Tigers through those dinner engagements and practice at Bowles High School down there in preparation for the Gator Bowl.
Well, there's no question this is a fun time. It's certainly a payment for a great year, 8-3 for the Gamecocks. Coach, again, congratulations. Best of luck now in the Gator Bowl.
Well, thank you. And our young men have been exciting all year, and I'm sure they're going to be exciting in this ball game as well.
Indeed. We thank you for joining us. Hope you can make it to Jacksonville and enjoy the Gator Bowl game.